Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby. Double features, double takes. This is the podcast where we talk about two movies, one new, one older, what makes them a good pair, and how the history of films influences the present.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Gabby. And today, we are breaking our very own made-up rule, Evan. Ooh, big day for the pod. But it's for a very good reason, we think. Previously, we had said that we would not discuss films that were less than 5 years apart from our new release. But today we're breaking it. We've decided that there was a pairing so strong that we needed to break the rule. Evan, today we are discussing The Devil Wears Prada 2 and Top Gun Maverick. Two films that almost make Lega-Sequels worth it? Question mark? I think so.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to pose this question and you're like, is the Lega-Sequel worth it, Tom Cruise? He would say, yeah, it's the only sequel I got.
Of course he would. It's kind of his whole thing now.
Honestly, yeah, truly.
It's kind of, like him being in like the Top Gun Maverick, it doing so well that we are getting Top Gun 3, and him being in like, are there 8 Mission Impossible movies or 7? Either way, too many.
Silly.
But yeah, that's kind of his brand until we get Digger in the fall.
A comedy of epic proportions, is that the tagline?
What? Yeah, should we pair Digger with like Superbad? Like just for comedy,
Not another teen movie or something.
It's gonna be a laugh riot.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, before we get into talking about Devil Wears Prada 2 and Top Gun Maverick, Evan, what have you been watching otherwise?
Yeah, it's been a while since we were on the mic, and I feel like just been watching a lot of Taskmaster. It's a fun British TV show. But otherwise, I was lucky enough to get a ticket last night to an early screening of the movie Tuner. This is the first narrative feature from Daniel Romer, who has made documentaries, one of which I've talked about on the podcast before, the AI doc, and also Navalny, which he was nominated for an Oscar for, or maybe won the Oscar for?
I think he won,
Yeah. So this is the first narrative feature from Daniel Romer. This movie comes out May 22nd in theaters, and this is not me like caping for the movie or whatever, but I honestly had a great time. It was an early screening at Vidiots. I think it's a perfect example of like, yes, this is a story and you will know the beats, but with very interesting specifics and with great performances and attention to craft across the board, from directing, cinematography, sound design, production design. All of those things come together to make something really, really great and really special. I immediately went onto my Letterboxd list called Jumpstart, which is a bunch of movies that whenever I want to feel inspired to make something or inspired to talk about storytelling, I will just turn to that list and think about those movies. And then honestly, I own 75% of them, so I would just pop it on and watch it. So yeah, excited to watch Tuner again, starring Leo Woodall, Havana Rose Liu, Dustin Hoffman. Really fun cast, really great stuff. I'm excited for you to check it out too, Gabby.
Just jumping in to say, it's been some time since we recorded the episode, but even as we hit stop on the mics, I realized that in my excitement to talk about Tuner, I forgot to say what it was about. So Tuner is about a young piano tuner who has a condition which makes him hypersensitive to sounds, so of course makes him great at his job, but also it means he's good at other things like cracking safes. And so it follows his journey as he gets involved with some interesting characters while trying to raise money for his mentor's hospital bills. So check it out. Tuner is in theaters right now. It's a really great film. I highly recommend you all watch it. All right, back to us in the past.
I don't know if you had heard much about Tuner before this.
I had heard a little bit about it, and I am excited to see it. For some reason, I kind of thought it had already come out, but or maybe it had like a soft release. I don't know.
They're
Just
doing
because
a
I had
lot of
maybe
like
it was at a
pre-screenings.
festival.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
at
it was
TIFF.
like at a yeah, maybe I heard about it when it was at a festival, but um that sounds really interesting, and I really like Leo Woodall as an actor. So interested to see him on the big screen. I feel like he's done a lot of TV.
What else has he been in besides White Lotus?
He has an Apple TV show. He also has a Netflix show.
Oh my
He
god.
is I believe he is in some kind of erotic movie with Rachel Weisz coming out this year, which I believe it's on Netflix, but I will be seeing it. I will be seated. Um, but yeah, I feel like he's done a lot of TV, and I wanna see if he can pull off the movie route. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got the
was
Riz.
Great.
He's got the Riz.
I know. Don't get me started. He's dating Megan Fahey.
I know. Your dream. He's got your dream.
My whole dream. I didn't see Drop.
I did on a plane. And you know what? That movie is not her fault. But it's also not very good.
Did you watch Sirens that she was in? On
yes,
Netflix
I did. I ate that up. Me and my fiance ate that up. No, but we ate it up.
But we ate it.
It was not like, it wasn't bad, but it was like definitely, you know how there's just a trend of like all shows now are like rich people on a beach or like a beach town in like a mansion, and then somebody dies and it's scandalous. And we must solve this murder or something. And yeah, that's kind of what that show is also.
Okay.
She was in another one of those kind of shows too, that was with Nicole Kidman, and I was like, okay, maybe she confused it. The Perfect Couple, I think it was called, with what's his face?
The other guy from White Lotus?
Shriver, Liev Schreiber.
Oh no, yeah.
I do think the other guy from White Lotus was in it as one of the sons.
Yeah.
But that was another one where I was like, ooh, we ate that up, but that was not good.
Wild.
We at my house have been ingesting a lot of Survivor 50 and Survivor content. My fiance and I are both very late to the Survivor like fandom craze. Like, I feel like it was really cool and interesting to like Survivor when it came out like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were children, so we didn't get into that. But we started watching it maybe last year together, just like kind of on a whim. And now the 50th season is airing, so we have been kind of sucked into that world and have been watching like older seasons, like in the background.
Yeah.
But then just like getting like sucked in. Like we're watching like, I don't know, like season 32 or something right now on just like out of nowhere. And we'll have it on in the background in our house, but then something will happen. There will be a blindside or a challenge or something. And we're just so locked in. Like I'm like, I fully get this now. There was one episode where we were watching before bed and we ended up staying up later. We were like, oh, one more episode tonight. And then the episode ended up being one where like the challenge that they had to do, which usually, this is going to sound cocky coming from me, and very non-athletic or outdoorsy person, but a lot of times I watch the challenges that they have to do and I'm like, I can do that. Like they're not that hard. Like to me, some of them are more hard than others, but a lot of them are like puzzles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could do a puzzle. I'm really good at puzzles. I could win Survivor. But then like they were doing one that I guess had to do with digging in the sand, and like they were digging with their hands in the sand in like the very hot heat and sun for over an hour.
Oh my god.
And 3 people, Evan, like dropped like flies, like heat exhaustion, like they had to medical evac someone. And I was like, holy shit, this is like, there's a reason why I've never seen this challenge again, I think. Like, damn, they did this once and they were like, we lost 3 people today.
Well, at least they were honest about it and didn't try to hide the fact that happened.
I mean, I don't think they could. It was the only time in watching. We've probably seen like 8 seasons at this point. We obviously
Uh-huh.
haven't watched all of them, but it's the first time that I've seen like every person like rushing to be around and helping. Like all of the crew was in the shot, like
Wow.
the medical team, all of the like surrounding production people were there. And I was like, holy shit, they really can't let anyone die. Like, get the fuck on camera. Um,
That's
yeah,
nuts.
they brought that helicopter in real quick.
I
Jeff
think
Probst is not getting sued.
I think out of all the unscripted shows in the world, the Survivor is probably the one that I would get into the most. I mean, I watched a lot growing up as
Yeah,
a kid. I just like having worked in unscripted for a little bit. I'm so allergic to it at this point, but even when it's very
so
different
fair.
like Survivor, But no, that's cool. It's also cool that that show's been going on for so long that they still can up the
Yeah.
ante every time.
And I don't think that they are stopping. Like
Nope.
I
Yeah.
don't think they're stopping anytime soon. What does kind of suck about this season, I don't know if you've seen the memes, but they have like some weird thing where for the 50th anniversary they have like a bunch of famous people sponsoring like the idols on the show that give you immunity.
Yeah.
So one of them was literally last week. It was like the Mr. Beast immunity challenge or whatever. And my
Yeah.
fiance looked at me and was like, "Who's Mr. Beast?"
Oh,
And I was like, "He's
bless
very
her.
famous." I know. I was like, "He's very famous." And she was like, "For what?" And I was like, "That's a great question. Um, I really don't know. I think he's on YouTube." And she was like, "Okay." She was like, "Why is he important enough to have a Survivor, like a whole Survivor episode revolve around him?" And I was like, I don't have a good answer for that. I really don't." And you could tell that even the contestants, like, because they've had like a couple where it's like the Billie Eilish idol or something, like somebody who
Sure.
everyone knows. And then there were like contestants there that like they brought out, like Jeff Probst brought out Mr. Beast onto this island in Fiji and was like, "Mr. Beast is here." And there were people that were like,
Who?
"Who? What? Who?"
I forgot you also saw the meme on Instagram that I reposted, and Instagram told me you also reposted from Clickhole.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, that one
the
was so funny.
their parody of Mr. Beast coming onto the island. It is single-handedly, that thing is so funny, that post.
It is
It
so incredibly
I
funny.
remember I was like half asleep scrolling through Instagram, like waking up for the day, and was like reading that. And it got me so like I was laughing so much that I was fully awake by the end of it. I mean, the first line already is someone just going, "I saw that man on a computer. He is a computer virus come true." And
He
and
is.
and reading it like if it's a "I think you should leave" sketch, like a Tim Robinson voice, like that's how I read every single sentence in that, and made it 5 times funnier. It's so good.
I
Oh
don't want to
god.
be here anymore.
Just flip it, Jeff. Every time Mr. Beast looks at me, I have flashbacks to wars that haven't happened yet. Future wars. Make him go away. I don't know. Whoever wrote this, Clickhole writers, you gotta, yeah, A+, man.
Get in touch with us. We want to give you your flowers.
Yeah, come guest on the podcast.
Come forward. In between our all the Survivor excitement, I did find time to see Devil Wears Prada 2. And Devil Wears Prada 1. We did rewatch the
Oh,
first one
nice.
the night before that we went to see the
The night
sequel.
before? All right.
Absolute
Well, we'll get back to
maniacs.
that. Yeah.
Maniacs. But I saw this film at the Grove AMC for a change.
Uh-huh.
And I saw it with every woman in my fiance's family.
A real? I mean, listen, this is
Yeah.
it's the girls movie,
It's a girls' night movie.
Yeah.
We locked in. We tried to get the Devil Wears Prada like espresso drink that they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
It was like some kind of like espresso, I guess an espresso martini, but for some reason on the advertisement it was in like a soda glass, like a Coca-Cola glass. I was like, is it really that big? I doubt it.
Yeah.
But they were sold out because they had just been like swamped with Devil Wears Prada, I guess, tribes all weekend.
Tribes.
I don't know. Like, we did see several like big groups of people going to see this movie, which was really nice.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of like decorations up, and people were asking to like take pictures. Like the whole like MacGuffin's bar was Devil Wears Prada themed.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
And then they had the nerve to run out of espresso mix.
Come on.
Amateurs.
They Amateurs. Yeah, they gotta know. Hire extra staff for the weekend, buy more stuff. Come on.
Amateur hour.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I flexed my A-list credits, used my rewards to get some free popcorn upgrades and stuff for the ladies.
Nice. Very good.
But it was fun. It was overall an enjoyable activity. I feel like that's this is a good movie for that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's you want to get a group of friends together or women in your life, I guess, to see this.
Yeah, did you see this with all of the women in your life? I'm guessing not, because I was not invited.
Yeah, because you already had plans.
Yeah, that's true. You were like, what are you doing to see this? And I was like, sorry. It's a family affair.
So I think I saw it with every woman in other people's lives as I went to see this movie by myself on a Monday night at the 7 p.m. Dolby showing at the AMC 16. And what was really interesting about this is that I sat in the back rows of the Dolby Theater, which is like kind of separated by like another access area, walking area. So these are the nosebleeds of that theater.
Yeah. Far seats.
It was also where all of the rowdy people were.
Oh.
Well, and I say this actually very affectionately, though, because normally something like this would ruin my experience of a movie. This is not a movie where I felt like I needed to be like 100% locked in to understand the themes, you know? So, no, there were a group of women out Monday night who definitely seemed like they had had a few drinks already and sat like in the rows behind me. And we're having a really good time throughout the movie. Like during the trailers, they were running up and down the stairs being like, we gotta go take pictures. So, yeah, definitely some fun stuff there. But also I will say there was older woman and maybe her daughter. I mean, like adult, you know, it's like as if I had brought like my mom to the movie. And so she was there with her kid, who I'm assuming is her kid and her kid's partner. And the older woman, something very early on in the movie happens where we're all learning this movie together. No one knows what has happened. And all the characters look shocked. And she turns to her daughter and goes, wait, what just happened? And I was like, this better not be the whole movie, please.
Are you saying moms can't go to the movies, Evan?
No, moms can obviously go to the movies. And it was actually very nice sitting next to her.
We're recording this on Mother's Day. Don't be rude.
It was very nice, actually, because she had a very audible reactions to lots of parts of the movie. She would gasp very silently to herself, you know, or very quietly to herself. So it was pretty fun to be in a space where people were like really into the movie itself, you know. I was sitting with the most engaged crowd for sure, and that's great to see. It was the Monday of opening weekend. We are recording this on week 2 of The Devil Wears Prada, which has retained a lot of its box office earnings, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, this is again, it's when the movie hits the right crowd and you can experience it with that crowd, it's always a great time.
It is. I mean, that's the ideal way to see any movie for me, is like I want a crowd that's very excited to be there, like all the time. Even if it's an annoying crowd. What I'm hearing is that your theater did not run out of the espresso mix for the drink.
Yeah, or, you know, hey, Buffalo Wild Wings is right next door, and so is Yard House.
That's so true. I did have a tequila soda, and I was the only one that got a drink, and I felt I was like of the group, and I was like, okay, fine, more for me. And they were like, ha ha ha, Gabby, you're so funny. And I was like, I'm not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I don't want this to come off.
I also came straight from work, so I was like, I'm gonna have a tequila soda. I don't care if you guys don't drink. I'm gonna have a tequila soda.
Oh yeah. So I for some reason I thought this was like a daytime thing. And
no, this was like after work on opening weekend, and I work weekends, so I went straight from work. And I was like, y'all can sit and have a soda, have your Diet Cokes. I'm gonna have a tequila soda.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
With extra tequila. Yeah. But yeah, Devil Wears Prada 2. I still think this is a bad title for this movie. But we can get to that. Released May 2nd, 2026, directed by the original, same director as Devil Wears Prada, the original, David Frankel, written by Aline Brosh McKenna, same writer, produced by Wendy Feinerman, starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, Justin Theroux, Kenneth Branagh, and Lucy Liu. This is pretty interesting take on a Lega-Sequel to me, since it doesn't ignore at all how much time has passed. Like they pretty much say immediately that it's been 20 years since the events of the first film. And I don't know, Evan, 20 years after the first film, Andy Sachs is thriving.
It only took 20 years.
It only took 20 years, and she has the journalism career of her dreams for about 5 minutes into the film before she gets laid off by text. As a result, Andy lands back at Runway magazine, where Miranda Priestley does not remember her and very much disapproves of her being there to write some quote-unquote serious journalism for her fashion magazine.
Okay, I mean, listen, did Miranda really forget her?
Yes, I think so.
You think so?
How many assistants do you think that woman has had?
I mean, 100 minimum, but
minimum. You think she remembers all of her assistants? Hell no.
I don't know.
I don't think that people who I worked for like a year ago remember who I am. They're like, oh yes, this assistant that I had, I guess I'll be polite and say that I remember your name. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's too important.
That's so interesting. I feel like, I don't know.
You thought she was faking it?
No, because I mean, in the trailer, I was like, that's a fun line, and I buy that that's real. But then when the movie goes on, I'm like, I don't know. She's like pretty comfortable with her. I mean, I guess that's like also acknowledging someone's professionalism, but like, I do think that she remembers Andy.
I mean, I think she remembered her after like she started working there again. But I don't think that like seeing her, like, yeah, it is kind of a funny scene. Andy like goes into Miranda's office and is like, hey, it's me, I'm back. And Miranda is like, what is this person doing in my office? Like, like, who are you? Like, doesn't even really acknowledge her. Is like asking her new assistant, like, who is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she starts to remember her later, but no, that first scene, I think she's like, excuse me, why is this person here?
Yeah, because she has that moment when they're at the house in the Hamptons when, you know, Miranda is like kind of drunk, but she was like, I always knew you'd be successful. And she was like, you didn't remember me. And then she has some kind of line that like basically confirms that she did remember her. I don't know. Or maybe I was like hoping that would be the case. But anyways, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. She does try to make the most of her time at Runway, even despite Miranda's disapproval. And this movie has a lot to say about journalism and media.
Yeah.
Has a lot to say about where journalism stands as like a form of speech and expression in our society. I think that's very interesting for a movie like this to tackle, because we'll get more into that later, but we should acknowledge that the reason why this movie even happened is because it has a massive legacy. The first one has really grown in estimation over the past 20 years, it has garnered a new audience. Like younger generations are finding that movie and really relating to it and really, finding something in it that they latch onto. Even if it's just like the memes, like
Mhm.
I have 100% used the Emily Blunt, like, I love my job. I love my job. I love my job from the first one. I've used that in an email, but um, uh, I think that this movie only happened because of how successful the original has become over like the past 5 years. Honestly, I don't think that there was like a huge need in our culture or anything before that for this to have a sequel. Um, but I would argue that I don't know that the audience for that is really interested in the journalism uh, piece of the story.
Yeah,
But maybe they
I
are. I don't know.
really agree with that. Like once
Hmm.
I mean I guess like generally I felt like this movie was like fine. I don't have that much of a relationship with the first film, and I feel like I only really watched it like just a couple months ago, like while I was on a plane. And I was definitely like emotionally affected by it, but I was like,
Wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait, 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 wait. You saw it for the first time a few months ago?
I had watched it as a kid for sure, but I didn't remember anything
Oh,
about it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you avoided this movie for 20 years somehow?
Well, I mean, I know it's one my mom didn't want to rent. Like, I think I've said it on the podcast before,
Mm,
but like my mom and I would rent movies from the library on Fridays and to watch them over the weekend, like just to have on and stuff like that. But Devil Wears Prada was one that she consistently avoided until we ran through all the rom coms, the 2000s rom coms that were on the shelves. So she went with
she was
this.
like, fine,
Yeah.
finally.
And so, yeah, I what I really like about the first one is that I really feel like I know who Andy is, what she wants, and what she's looking for, and the relationship between her and Miranda is really interesting in that, right? And with this movie, you don't have, to your point, it is like the struggle of journalism in the modern day, and can it compete with social media? It can't, obviously. That's,
No.
there's a great line early on when they say "Runway's no longer a magazine; it's a
Right.
video, it's video, it's
It's an online
impressions, it's
publication. It's
yeah,
yeah. Like
um,
they barely have a physical copy anymore.
yeah, and so to your point, yeah, is it super relatable to general audiences in that sense? But the thing that I think really brings people into this is the fact that Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci are all great actors, and
Yes.
they've all picked up these characters um in such a great way. It feels like they really, didn't miss a beat. And that in itself I think is good enough for people who are fans of the original and want a continuation of what happened in that first movie.
Yeah, and as I mentioned kind of in the credits, the original team has returned. The original
Mhm.
director, the original writer. Um, I would say, and I do think that that is always a huge vote of confidence in a sequel, is when the original team is returning after so long.
Mhm.
Um, but I will say, I think, yeah, I have more of a relationship to the movie than you. I watched it. I definitely saw it in college, I want to say,
Mhm.
and was very, very into it, and was very scared by it, almost of like, oh no, I'm gonna end up being an Andy for a while. I was like, oh, this is what awaits me when I graduate Emerson College. God damn
Uh-huh.
it. Um, but I really liked it and I really like respected it. I couldn't quite put my finger on why yet, but
Mhm.
I was very like I was like this is a well done movie. That like this movie could have been worse easily. Like this
Sure.
is the kind
Yeah.
of movie that like it doesn't have to be this good.
Mhm.
And I think that it grew in my estimation honestly when I was at USC in grad school, and I had a professor that quite literally used Miranda's introduction scene, that whole sequence, kind of, of her character being introduced and us seeing her for the first time walking into the office and everybody scrambling
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, get everything together because she's ahead of schedule or something. As like a gold tier, like S tier example of what a character introduction should be in a script. And
Yeah.
I immediately, like, I rewatched the movie and I was like, God damn, like, actually, this is what I felt it. I was like, that's what I couldn't put my finger on, like, a few years ago, was just like, this script is so well executed that it does give these actors, like, a huge range, you know, and a huge amount of room to play with while also being incredibly well paced and incredibly, like, sharp and, you
Mm-hmm.
know, maintaining your attention at all times. And of course, the Miranda character in the first one, I think, is so compelling, is an amazing and I think deep character.
Mm-hmm.
Like a villain that has flaws and has that, you know, like she is the villain for the first like 75% of that movie. And then this is one of the better executions I've ever seen of like, oh, she's not. She's just like a super overworked, stressed person who is maybe the only person on the planet capable of doing what she does. And she doesn't like to show it, but she does ultimately feel the weight of that
Mm-hmm.
in her like very rare few private moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very compelling. It does pain me to say that I don't think much of that is in the sequel.
Yeah.
And I liked the sequel fine. Like I do think that, like I said earlier, I think that its interest in kind of portraying the journalism landscape and the kind of dangers of, you know, journalism and art being acquired by conglomerations, billionaires, AI obsessed idiots. I don't know. Call them for what they are, but
Yeah.
I think I do think that that justifies its existence, and it did feel like a not unnatural progression of the story.
Yeah.
Of these characters, like I didn't feel like it was forced. You know, like with a lot of Lega-Sequels, I think that they are very easily forced because you need to find a way to bring all these characters back together, and they obviously would have already had their own lives, and you know, those kind of logistical things that maybe don't make a story feel like it flows. But this felt natural to me, and this did feel like pretty justified in the message that it's trying to convey. But at the same time, I did think that because of that, we got the edges sanded off of it just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that's a great way to
Like,
put it. I feel like I don't really. This is my problem with like most modern movies is that it feels like we don't spend a lot of time with the characters to understand how the events are actually affecting them, like in a larger emotional way. I mean, like,
right.
I feel like Andy, to your point, Andy's like just goal is like just gotta be at a place that pays me to write. Which hey, I get it, I empathize, you know, but
Totally get it. That's my whole life right now, is trying to find that.
But more like the first movie, to your point, it was like she was, you know, wanted to find meaning in the work and like and growing and changing and what her trajectory could look like and learning from Miranda and the things you to do and what not to do. Like I really empathize with Andy in that first movie because I was like, I've had bosses that I've hated working for but really respect the level of work ethic that they really impressed
Yeah.
upon me or carried out in their personal lives. And in this one, it's like we're fighting against big tech, and the solution to that. I mean, we can get into spoilers, but like the solution to that is like a kind of like a Deus Ex Machina, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, Andy has a very clear arc of change in the first one, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that she changes very much in this movie, which is okay, but also like in the first movie she is taking this job because she needs a job.
Yeah.
She does not respect the magazine. Like, she's very clear that this is not what she wants to do, and that she thinks that fashion is silly, and that this whole workplace is, that Miranda, all of it is like not serious, is not a real thing.
Yeah.
And she does come to understand kind of the impact that, this publication, that fashion, that other like things that are interesting to other people, the way that journalism has impacted her life, fashion has impacted the Stanley Tucci character's life.
Mhm.
So it does mean something. And I do think she has like very notable growth towards just like, okay, yeah, this is not my dream job, but that doesn't mean it's not important. And that doesn't mean that I can't learn things from Miranda. That doesn't mean that I, have to, just because this is different than what I expected doesn't mean that it's beneath me.
Mhm.
And in this movie, I just think she's kind of just trying to get Miranda to take her seriously again for a lot of it. And it just, again, kind of feels like the edges are a little bit sanded off. And even with Miranda, like, I'm like, Meryl Streep, where's the bite in this movie? I mean, I think she's kind of,
Yeah.
just by virtue of the story that they're telling, she's kind of in an inferior position for the first time in her life. And I do think that that is interesting. But I think that it's a very different part of the character that, I don't mind seeing that at all. Like, the progression of a character is interesting to me. Like, she's never been backed into a corner like this. She's never been working for somebody who didn't respect her the way that the weird BJ Novak character is like, cool, man, let's go to the cafeteria.
Yeah. And also,
that
like,
was pretty funny.
it's been 20 years and she is worn down, right? The business is changing.
She is.
And
Everything's changed. And
she has
let's
less
be honest,
money.
she has less control.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, she does not have what she used to have 20 years ago. And I do think that that's interesting. I kind of question whether or not it's like, if it's what people who love the movie so much, the first movie, want to see from her.
Mhm.
I like that the movie takes a swing and that they don't care if that's what you want to see or not.
That is true. Yeah.
Like, I respect that.
Yeah.
Again, character growth. They're allowed to grow. But I thought that, yeah, it could have used a few more like really cutting moments from Miranda. I did gasp the first they only give her one "that's all" in the movie.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I did gasp. I was like, "Oh, they saved it. They got it good." But I guess, yeah, we can kind of get into spoilers about the premise in general, what is going on in the movie, which is basically that Runway is in danger of going extinct under kind of a new leadership. It's what's his name? Irv, the guy that like owns all of the publications, dies suddenly after actually growing to respect, like, there's a sequence where like everything is going really well for like Andy and Miranda, and like they're like, oh, we're getting so many clicks on this serious journalism in Runway.
Yeah.
And then of course it can't stay that way, so Irv dies right as he's about to like give Miranda some huge promotion. And his son, BJ Novak, who does not give a shit about any of these publications. I don't think he knows how to read, honestly.
Yeah.
He does not read. Takes over and is just trying to gut everything. Like, just trying to gut all unnecessary spending. Doesn't care about the legacy, the institution of the magazine. Just gutting it all for, like, downsizing. And it becomes apparent, I guess, that the only way to save, quote unquote, save Runway is to find a buyer for Runway. And that they're going to lose everything if they don't find a buyer big enough and to buy the magazine out. And Andy decides to like find a buyer with Emily Blunt, and she thinks she's kind of saving the day, and she absolutely is not. Emily Blunt's character, Emily, I was gonna say, I can't remember her name because it's actually just her name, Emily. Emily is dating Justin Theroux's character in this movie, who, God bless Justin Theroux, he must be a real good sport, because he simply is one of the most attractive men we have, and what they do to him in this movie is unspeakable.
Yeah, I definitely did not recognize him.
They really try and they really glow him down, which is funny because in the movie it's supposed that we're supposed to believe that he had like some huge glow up, and that he like went on Ozempic and he got hair plugs and like Botox, and now he divorced his first wife and runs a huge, Amazon-esque, Tesla-esque company.
He's like a Bezos Musk like fusion almost.
Exactly. And he's divorced his philanthropic, sweet, loving ex-wife for dating hot younger women like Emily Blunt. And Emily is his new girlfriend. So Emily and Andy try and kind of hatch a plot to have him purchase Runway, but that doesn't go well. Shocker.
Yeah, I mean, it's revealed that basically he's buying Runway and he's gonna fire Miranda so Emily can be in charge. And Miranda, brings this to Andy and Emily's attention, and Andy's like, "Oh no, I've messed up." And the way they get around this is that there's a pretty fun montage, but Andy's just making a bunch of calls, and
yep, it is funny.
The wife, Justin Theroux's character's wife, ex-wife, played by Lucy Liu, is revealed as the one who is the new bankroller and decides to buy not only Runway but all of the company that
the
Irv
entire
owns.
Company,
yeah, so that Miranda can stay in charge, the company can stay intact, and they just have a new person bankrolling another publication that will inevitably be audited again down the line at some point, and they will have to change.
That's the third movie, Evan. We don't need to deal with that. But it's kind of a convoluted plot. It did work on me though. Like I did kind of like the twist of it worked on me, that Emily wants to just be in charge and essentially wants to be Miranda. I think that maybe the best line of the entire movie is and the most unsurprisingly is the most like ruthless that Miranda is allowed to be in this movie, where she says to Emily, like, you can't do this, or this won't work.
Yeah, she says you don't have a vision, you're a vendor.
Right, you're not a visionary, you're a vendor.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cold. That's so cold.
Brutal.
And you can see it in Emily Blunt. Power to her. She's really like, honestly, I think that my knock is that she's not in the movie enough.
Yeah, that's another thing that we miss from the first movie, is that you have a lot of like banter between Andy and Emily and like their relationship on trying to like please Miranda, and there isn't that same sense anymore, right? It is just like, how do we keep fighting the uphill battle against new ownership or tech or all that stuff, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Emily is quite literally in bed with big tech. She just likes that. Yeah, she's with somebody that has a lot of power, a lot of money, gives her a lot of attention, and wants to like empower her to do whatever she wants, and it has the means to give her whatever she wants. At some point, I did laugh. When at the very kind of end of that string, when they go to tell them that Runway has been bought, like the whole place has been bought by someone else. And Emily is kind of like, oh, I know who should be our first cover girl of the new Runway. And
oh yeah.
like she's like framing her own face. And I'm like, in what world would you be the cover girl of essentially Vogue? No one knows who the fuck you are.
Introducing the new
Delusion Island. Delusion. But I don't know. Again, I do think that the storyline worked. I just question if it's gonna, like, I guess the answer is it does work because of the box office, but just, yeah, if it's what people were expecting or what people were wanting from a Devil Wears Prada sequel, I respect that it kind of had the nerve to do something different.
Yeah, I still think that the movie does touch on a lot of the first one in like very obvious quotes and callbacks that like was kind of like
the
annoying
cerulean
me.
sweater.
That's right, she's wearing that.
She's wearing cerulean at the end. I noticed.
There's also like some like direct quotes though. I forget, she has an exchange with Caleb Heron where they go back and forth about it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's a million girls would kill for this job.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Love seeing Caleb Heron though. Keep going.
Yeah.
The one that annoyed me was the very beginning when they arrive at, I guess, the Met Gala, and it's like literally like a cerulean carpet, and the theme is florals for spring.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. We don't need this.
It's to show that
like,
Miranda has lost her edge. That's what the Twitter takes were on that when the trailer was out.
Oh, okay. I mean, if that was the intention, then I do find that more interesting. I just thought it was the movie being too tongue in cheek.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certain it's probably a little bit of both.
Yes, but we kind of mentioned the real life parallels a little bit, but yeah, I don't know if you do know like the real kind of story that was unfolding while this movie was more than likely being written, but basically I do think that the Justin Theroux character is just supposed to be Jeff Bezos, and Emily Blunt is kind of playing a Lauren Sanchez type, the new girlfriend, and that is seeking a lot of legitimacy and a lot of, attention. And yeah, I think that there was a time, I don't know if it's still ongoing, honestly, but there was a time when it was heavily rumored that Bezos was going to purchase Condé Nast, which is the public, like the entire umbrella of like the New York Times, Vogue, the New Yorker, a lot of different very reputable publications. And that would obviously be not great.
Yeah.
For most people and for journalism. And I think that this movie is kind of directly riffing on that kind of storyline of like a billionaire who just kind of has a lot of money and wants to impress people and like is seeking to be in these like coveted circles of tastemakers and, like is trying to buy taste. And I do think that is one of the huge underlying themes of this whole movie is like, you cannot buy taste. Like you can't buy what Miranda does.
Yeah.
Like the curation, the time, the effort, the vision. You can't buy that. And I think that that's a true to life thing that a lot of people with money need to learn, but never will.
Yeah, there's a really great subplot of the movie where Andy is talking to a character played by Rachel Bloom. That is funny. Whether or not she should write a kind of like memoir or like biography about Meryl Streep or about Miranda and like who she is and all that stuff. Probably very similar to The Devil Wears Prada, the book that the movie is based off of, if I had to guess.
Yes.
but they have an exchange in the car where Miranda reveals that she knows Andy's been working on this, and that she has like a deal to potentially write this book, and she's like, no, you should do it. You should write the book so people know like what it takes, you know? Because you have all, yes, there's all these things that are really fun and really cool, but there's like the weight that sits with you, and there's the time away from children and all this stuff, and that is one of those like moments that you were talking about earlier, where I think Miranda has this ability to kind of like reveal like her true self and show that how much this is taking on her, but she ends it with like, but boy, I love to work.
She
And
does.
I was like, she does. That's true. She does. She loves to
Well,
work.
I mean, you do see how much it takes out of her life. I mean, the toll on her. And I thought, I don't think I'm supposed to think this scene is funny, but I did think it was funny. So she has a new husband in this movie, played by Kenneth Branagh.
Which is this the smallest role Kenneth Branagh has had in like years? Like it is so small. It is crazy. Yep.
He is playing trophy husband, and he is doing it well. Yeah. But she has a scene where she's talking to him and is kind of like, what will I have if I don't have runway? And he's like, you'll have me and you'll have the girls, like her twins that are mentioned not at all almost in the movie. And you see this look on her face, and she's kind of like ouch. And I thought that was really funny, because I was like, oh, like she knows that that's not enough for her.
That's not enough. Yeah.
But also I think he knows it's not enough for her. And that's why I was kind of like, okay, this scene is also showing us that she has a good partner that understands her. Because I think he's saying it in a way where it's like, I know this is not enough for you because you love your work. And why else would you put so much of your life and sacrifice so many moments, like big moments in your life, if you didn't love this more than anything?
Yeah, totally. I mean, also, like, you know the reason why the twins aren't in this, right?
No, I don't.
It's because, you know, in the first movie, Andy gets them the next Harry Potter book before it's published. And because of this, they're so in the bag for J.K. Rowling. They love Harry Potter. They were
oh my god!
in the universe of Devil Wears Prada, they were canceled because they were like, J.K. can do no wrong.
You know what? They should. They should be. I'm not saying that I know this. This is complete speculation, but I'm just going to put out there that I think that may be part of what got Helena Bonham Carter removed from White Lotus season 4. She's a noted JK defender.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a tough look for my girl, HBC.
She should be back in the show then.
As a villain.
Yeah. Or no, I mean, she should be
in the Harry Potter show.
Yeah.
Don't wish that upon people, Evan.
There's people willingly doing it.
I mean, I would do it also, but I mean, where's my check? Warner Brothers. It seems like you're handing them out.
Oh, God.
Any other big thoughts you have about The Devil Wears Prada 2, Evan?
Well, I think, you know, Anne Hathaway second movie, 2 of 5 this year, right?
That's true.
The next one that will come out will be The Odyssey, which will probably be the biggest of the 5 movies.
The biggest event of this podcast to date.
That's also true, yeah.
We've had our tickets for almost a year.
I know, some of the rare ticket holders. We're coveted. Mm-hmm. We're living in rare air.
This is the only time in my entire life that I will be a 1%er. And I'm A-okay with that.
Yeah, hey, me too. But yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, you mentioned this, we should talk about this. You watched the movie the night before you saw Devil Wears Prada 2. So Devil Wears Prada 1 into Devil Wears Prada 2. How did you feel like seeing that, like, Anne Hathaway was still quite young when she did that first movie? Like did it, we talked about how it did feel like they picked up the characters like seamlessly, but like how did you feel about that? And like personality wise, it seemed pretty consistent to me from what I remember the first movie.
I did. I found it very consistent and
Yeah.
very I did think that it was pretty true to where that character would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like highly respected and successful, but
Uh-huh.
having a tough time in this current climate for
Yeah.
journalism. Um
And she's still like a little annoying.
she's still annoying, yeah. And I appreciated the line that she had where she was like, "Oh, my kids are at a doctor's office on the other side of town or something.
Oh yeah.
They're eggs, they're frozen." Like
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
that was funny. But I thought she was a pretty realistic depiction of a working, like, passionate person in the industry that she wants to be in, has made some sacrifices for
Mm-hmm.
in her personal life, and I mean, does not that not make her a little bit like Miranda
Yeah, truly.
as she ages?
She's kind of like embodying this leader who is clearly like inspiring her, you know?
And she dresses better too in this movie. So,
That yeah.
that's one of the first things I noticed actually was like early in the movie before she even starts working at Runway again. I was like, oh, I like this outfit a lot. And I was like, oh, so she still did take some fashion knowledge from Runway.
Yeah, and she's excited when Stanley Tucci's character Nigel gives her the outfits to try on
Oh
and
yes. Like
she's really excited to
she's
be back in
hyped.
that. Yeah.
In the closet, who wouldn't be? But
True. Yeah.
something that yeah, we did kind of notice from the first movie. My fiance and I were watching and we were like, oh, so many of these jokes are so good, but also yikes, they cannot do this in the sequel where and I did think it was funny. They had like the Simone Ashley character was kind of Miranda's new assistant, and a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of her job is just like telling Miranda things that she can't do or say anymore because it'll get her like sued or canceled. But one of them was that in the first movie they're constantly commenting on Anne Hathaway's weight.
Mm-hmm.
They call her, and Stanley Tucci calls her once in the movie. He calls her 6.
Yeah.
As in size 6,
6.
as in that's too big. So I haven't been a size 6 since high school when I had Lyme's disease. And couldn't eat anything. Like size 6 is not large at all. Yeah, it's a little much, but I did think it was funny, obviously in Devil Wears Prada 1. And yeah, I thought that they did a really good job kind of touching on those things from the first movie that would
Mm-hmm.
maybe not be okay today. Also, yeah, there was like a throwaway line where Simone Ashley's like, "Oh, I heard that she used to just come in and throw her coat at people."
Oh yeah, it's so funny. And she's like
It's
trying
really
to
funny.
hang her own coat.
Hang her
She's
own
so
coat.
tired.
I'm like, this woman, you're telling me that this like 70-year-old woman doesn't know how to hang up her own jacket?
Yeah.
She does. She doesn't want to do it. But
I think with Anne Hathaway too, it was really interesting. Like as we're gonna chart the rest of her year here, she's kind of bouncing back between like indie, like big thing. Odyssey will be like a big thing, but like more in the like artistic performances. Then End of Oak Street will be something
a little more
else.
prestige.
Yeah, and then Verity will be just more Colleen Hoover. but but the trailer looks creepy.
It'll be my first Colleen Hoover. But I'm excited. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get wine drunk. I'm gonna have some rosé, and I'm gonna be ready.
I just want to know if they actually make out. If her and Dakota Johnson actually make out. Like, how much of that is a vision, or is it real?
I don't know. We're gonna have to find out. But I think, yeah, huge year for her. I honestly think that this. I'm not underestimating Christopher Nolan, but this might be her biggest box office hit of the year.
I think so. I mean, and also this might be the more like natural performance for her. You know, it's something that she was able to kind of obviously like easily reach back to and achieve again. And not to say she was bad in Mother Mary, right? Like I loved her in that, but like this just feels like more
she's
her
doing
more
something really different.
Yeah, and this is the mode that we know her as, and we were introduced to her as viewers.
Yeah.
You know?
This is much more. First thing I ever saw Anne Hathaway in, I think, of course, was Princess Diaries.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is much closer, like
Tonally.
her Princess Mia Thermopolis character is much more closer to Andy than to Mother Mary.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I had a good time. And I think it justifies its existence by having a bold enough take or script to actually try and bring up some actual issues in the world to a mainstream audience that maybe is going for the fun and not the substance. And I respect that.
Yeah. You know, you gotta respect it. I agree. Speaking of saluting, which Gabby just did, if you were only listening to the podcast, we'll be right back to talk about Top Gun Maverick.
Evan's favorite movie of all time.
Of all time. Well, we'll get to that.
We'll be back. And we're back to talk about Evan's self-proclaimed straightest thing about him. His love of Top Gun Maverick. That's right. It's not his love of women. It's his love of Top Gun Maverick that really, really takes it over the edge into heterosexual.
Yeah, I stand behind that.
Yep. Oh, those were your words.
That really takes it in the range of heterosexual. Yeah, I said that word for word. All right, Top Gun Maverick premiered May 27th, 2022, directed by Joseph Kosinski, written by Aaron Kruger, Eric Warrensinger, and Christopher McQuarrie, starring Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, Glenn Powell, John Hamm, Monica Barbaro, Ed Harris, Louis Pullman, and Val Kilmer, and many, many more. Yeah, this movie, I know, 2022, we're still getting out of COVID. In 2021, there was a lot of times when people were like, movies are back. But this was the true, like, movies are back movie.
This was it.
And no one, I think, really expected it to be what it became, which was a incredible motion picture event that saved movie theaters.
Basically, yeah. I mean, we had been putting that mantle on Tom Cruise for years, and he, like savior of cinema, all of this, like our last great movie star. Like, we had been putting that mantle on him for years, and only Top Gun Maverick did he really earn it. I'm gonna say it. I love Mission Impossible Fallout as much as the next person, but the other Mission Impossible movies that followed, I was like, they were kind of disappointing. Box office was disappointing. But Top Gun Maverick, he came back and he killed it. Like he fulfilled his prophecy. As a cinema god.
This movie is the reason we're breaking our rules, because this might be the best example of what a Lega-Sequel could and should be. I think striking the balance of nods to the original while still being a really great movie on its own, and where the characters feel like they're going through something unique to the film, in a way that also is affecting them emotionally. And we'll get into some of those finer details as well. Top Gun Maverick, $1.5 billion worldwide.
Huge.
That's awesome. I don't think Devil Wears Prada is going to make $1 billion, but it's made a lot of money so far. It's like we said,
pretty good.
Yeah, this is week 2 of the movie being in theaters. It's currently sitting at $433 million. Love that. 66% of its revenue so far is from international, and Italy had the biggest weekend one opening, $13.4 million at Italy. The US obviously is still a little bit more, $76 million, but that's pretty great. This movie's got international appeal. Awesome. Love to see it,
I mean, it doesn't hurt that some of the movie is in Italy.
Yes, yeah. And I think
Italians love to see Italy.
Do you think we got to check the numbers on You, Me, and Tuscany to see if that one held up?
I'm not sure that it did. For other reasons.
Reasons.
I
don't know. She came for the pasta, got lost in the sauce. All right, that's all I'll say.
Weekend 2, a 44% drop. That's not bad at all. You wrote in here, you were like, I'm not sure if that's good or bad. It's pretty good. Do you know what movie, Evan, had the lowest ever week 2 percentage drop in box office history?
Is it Avengers Endgame?
It's Top Gun Maverick.
What?
You didn't know that? You're Top Gun Maverick's #1 fan. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. But yes, I totally agree with you. I think that Top Gun Maverick was like, we had said for like a while now that if we're ever going to break our rule, it really needs to be, we need to justify it. We got to back it up. And I think it's exactly what you said. This is what a gold standard should be of like a sequels. And I couldn't think of anything else that I even wanted to explore. Like, we could have done a journalism movie, I guess, but
should you do Spotlight?
Oh god, heavy. But yeah, I was like, boring. Let's do Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, both films also, crowd pleasers, get targeting a very like a certain demographic, but also still has broader appeal than just that. It's, and it doesn't have to be like a superhero thing, doesn't have to be an animated thing like these movies. Both movies, I mean, both movies skew a little bit older, but still have pretty wide appeal across the board.
I mean, yeah, Top Gun Maverick had a massive audience, and it was kind of similar. I mean, just because the original Top Gun does have a dedicated fan base and has kind of picked up a place in the culture over the past however many years, like 30 or 40 years since that movie came out.
1986, the first film.
Yeah, it's at the time that the Top Gun Maverick was released, it was what, 35 years? And yeah, I just think it had a place in the culture, but Top Gun, the original, it's not a great movie. It's good and it's entertaining. Parts of it are like deeply strange. So I mean, I think that Top Gun Maverick's like good word of mouth has almost kind of overshadowed Top Gun completely. Like, just, it's like, I feel like the place that Top Gun had in the culture before Maverick has been completely obliterated by Maverick. And I think that I think so, because I think Maverick just appealed to a wider audience. I think that it got more people interested in the original. And frankly, when you go back and watch the original, it's not too much like this, from my memory of it. So I'm kind of just like, I think that this is it's a rare instance to me where I do think that this sequel has kind of overtaken the place of the original in the culture.
And also this sequel, much like Devil Wears Prada 2, acknowledges the amount of time that has passed since the first movie,
Yes.
And time is a really important factor in this movie as well, as, Mav is older. Like Pete Mitchell is older now, and that there's a lot that's different in his life.
There's also things that are not different in his life, and those are kind of interesting and touched on, like acknowledged in this movie. All of it is very like a moment in time, but acknowledging it in a way that respects the moment that the original had.
Yeah. Also, something that I think that Maverick does that, Devil Wears Prada it'd be interesting if you apply this logic to it, is that Top Gun Maverick opens with a sequence of Captain Pete Mitchell, Tom Cruise character Maverick, right? He is flying a plane because he needs to hit not light speed, a target speed of Mach 10.
It's like quantum speed or Mach 10.
Yeah, Mach 10. He needs to hit Mach 10 speed. The human body, I'm pretty sure, cannot even withstand that at all. Like, it's like, that is like pure sci-fi, right?
It cannot.
But what happens early on is that he hits that speed, an amazing sequence. It introduces you to the character if you were unfamiliar. It gives you a little bit of he has his line like "Talk to me, Goose," which if you didn't know the character before, it like introduces that concept to you, and then the plane explodes, incredible shot, and he's then sat down with Ed Harris in like in an office, and Ed Harris is like, he's like, you may have saved these people's jobs, but like one day it's gonna come for you, like that this program won't exist and that it will be like everyone will be replaced by drones. And he's like, well, that may be true, but today is like not that day. And
Nope.
that allows you almost to sit in the fantasy that Top Gun as a world and the naval fighter pilots can exist, even though you could just be doing all this with drones. It allows you to be like, okay, we acknowledge it, now let's do that. And that's why I'm like, okay, Devil Wears Prada 2. Yes, you need a rich bankroller. The whole point was that they needed to find a new rich person to bankroll what is a dying industry. But how could we have applied that logic to there? You can make that argument that the movie opens up with Andy winning an award, so we know that the world that they live in still respects journalism, that they still give out awards for good journalism. But then they all get laid off because of restructuring and corporate mergers and buyouts,
Very real things.
Yeah, very real.
Very
things.
real, very real threats, much like drones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's completely right. And that both of these movies kind of take a very, like, what was once a very kind of like normal career path and make it seem like something that is uncertain in the world that we live in now. And I think that might be like, watching both of them, I was like, maybe that's the key to the Lega-Sequel, is just like acknowledging that the world that these characters live in is different.
But letting them have one more day.
Yeah. And like, let them be the hero of that world in whatever way you want. But just acknowledging that, we can't go back to the exact moment in time when the first one was released. Like, we're not back in 1986 for Top Gun Maverick. But and there are people telling him to, there's still people telling Pete Mitchell in this movie, like they do in the first one, that he doesn't play by the rules and he's got to be more of a rule follower in the military. And, like, that's what it's all about. That's what being a good pilot is about. I know the first movie is all like, he's out of line.
So can I tell you something? Is that I have never seen the first movie.
I know this because you told me when I said we should do Top Gun Maverick, you were like, should I watch the first Top Gun? And I was like, no. So I just like, that's how much I honestly don't think it's that important to Top Gun Maverick.
For sure. So I haven't watched the first movie, and really I think the only reason I saw Top Gun Maverick, I think it was opening weekend or close to it, was that my friend Jordan and I just happened to be in New York City, and we were like, why don't we go see a movie? Let's just see Top Gun Maverick on what is now the second biggest IMAX screen in the US. And we somehow got seats, pretty like good seats. They were maybe a little too close to the front. There's a specific shot that I vividly recall in my head as a dolly out, but it's actually just like a helicopter shot that's just like moving back, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's very different. But we just happened to see this movie, and it was a great, incredible theatrical experience. And since then, it's one of those movies that I've watched on planes, because I love to watch a plane movie on a plane to see how they edit it, because they love to edit plane crashes and things like that out of plane movies. This one, you can't really do that.
You cannot.
And also then I bought it because I was like, I actually really love revisiting this movie, because I love how the film deals with legacy, but also how it imparts that kind of feeling on me, someone who's never seen the first movie. That I'm like, this is a character that I understand is very accomplished, but is now dealing with some very real issues of how do I live my life when the world is telling me that like there isn't a place for me anymore. And he does it in the classic Tom Cruise way, in that, yes, the world actually needs him to do it, and only him specifically.
Only specifically him. And I mean, speaking of legacy, also, I mean, the way that this movie deals with Goose, the
Mm-hmm.
loss of Goose. You mentioned "Talk to Me, Goose." Was Maverick's wingman
Yeah.
essentially in the original Top Gun, and this movie makes it really clear. Even if you've never seen the first one, that he has lost somebody very close to him, but he
Mm-hmm.
lost somebody that he trusts, and that he feels responsible for that loss.
Yeah.
And so this movie gives him the opportunity to step up for Goose's son,
Mm-hmm.
played by Miles Teller, and the most impactful mustache of the century,
Mm-hmm.
possibly.
Also, probably the most impactful white boy dancing scene of the
Oh
century.
yes,
Him
100%.
when they play dogfight football on the beach, like
Mm.
that clip was like revelatory. Him shirtless and just like dancing to that song. It's
Well,
incredible what an effect that clip
boy,
had on the
boy,
world.
do I have a treat for you? I think that instead of watching just the whole original Top Gun, what you should do is go on YouTube and just look up the volleyball scene. That's it. Top Gun volleyball scene. Because that is what that dogfight football, which I don't think is a real thing,
I don't think so.
is referencing.
Mm-hmm.
Before seeing the original Top Gun, the only thing that I knew about it was that Tom Cruise was in it and that it had a really homoerotic volleyball scene, which I appreciate that. Yeah, they doubled down in this one, and they were like, it's not gay, but you
Yeah.
know what? It's just people vibing and having a good time. Does that make it gay? I'm like, a little bit.
A little.
Doesn't make it straight. But yeah, overall, just also seeing how Goose's son Rooster is, dealing with that loss of not really knowing his father, of
Mm-hmm.
kind of taking on a similar mantle as his father, but not wanting to listen to Maverick
Mm-hmm.
about that, and rejecting a certain piece of his father's legacy in that way. But I think that it does have a really interesting link to like next generation through that
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, and also like there's a great line that Rooster has where it's like look at you, Mav, like there's no one who's gonna be there when you burn up, you have nobody. And that's when you have the introduction of Jennifer Connelly, who represents basically like every girlfriend this character has ever had in the past,
It's like
But
she's a composite character of
yeah.
women, sure.
But Jennifer Connelly looking maybe the most beautiful anyone's ever looked.
The
Like
hottest the woman has ever been in
the
this movie.
her hair, the hair
Mm.
treatment looks incredible. Oh my god.
Effortless. She is
Effortless.
just like out of a magazine, perfect
Yeah,
in this
when she
whole
shows up in the
movie.
bar,
Oh my
incredible. I
god.
I think like there's a really funny quote from the rewatchables, I think, where Bill Simmons is like, this woman does not exist.
No, she doesn't exist. No, this is not a real person. But also, Pete Mitchell is not a real person, so they're perfect
Yeah,
for each
they're
other,
perfect. Yeah.
Um, and I mean that scene at the very end where like she picks up Mav in like her like perfect, like perfectly restored vintage
Vintage car.
Porsche.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, what do I gotta do to get a babe like that? I don't care if she's 30 years older than me. We can work with it. But if she's
But
got that car, and that hair,
yeah.
but yeah, I think that is the character that's kind of representing what Maverick has sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
And
doesn't have a person like this, but at the same time, it's hopeful in saying that like it's not too late to have this.
yeah. As well as Penny, her daughter, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it wait, no.
Yes.
Is it Penny?
Is
No,
it
Penny
Penny?
Penny is her name. What's her daughter's
Yeah.
name?
Well, I don't remember. A Penny's daughter.
Penny's daughter. Yeah, and seeing, because one of the things that I love about rewatching this movie, by the way, this movie has also been the most rewatched movie now on my Letterboxd. It is
Really?
tied everything everywhere all at once. I will say some of
Wow.
those are just me throwing it on and putting it on in the background, right? But
Okay. So we're
it
not
is
doing
up there.
full watches. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, they're full. I'm just not locked in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Amelia is Penny's daughter. But
Amelia.
one of the things that struck me was watching this time was that at the end of the movie, which is, they save the day, hooray, and Pete and Rooster are like, friendly, and they're working on a plane together. He sees Amelia first, and like that image of Amelia is like, oh, that is the future. The future is that she will be someone that I will need to take care of, and like a thing, and being okay with that, and then and reshaping his life around like I've got
A
Rooster to be
family,
buddies
yeah.
with, and Penny and Amelia. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's really effective and emotional, and that kind of added layer I think is something that you don't usually get in movies like this, these kind of
Yeah.
big action epics.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that I do think that that's kind of what's missing from the Mission Impossible movies. There isn't really an emotional tie.
Yeah.
It's just like action, 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 convoluted plot, villain, repeat.
The
And
closest
that's
it
fine.
comes to
That's
that,
that kind of movie. But yeah, the closest it comes to that is kind of like
it's like when
Ethan
Michelle
Hunt.
Monaghan's character is like
Yes.
reintroduced and she becomes like part
Yeah.
of like a
Yeah.
stake that Ethan Hunt needs to like consider,
Yeah. And you know what? That's part of the best Mission Impossible movie,
Mm-hmm.
Fallout. So,
Fallout. Yeah, it's the best one.
um, yeah, by far. And it's because there is some kind of personal stake for him, some kind of emotion.
Yeah.
It's not just like, you're the only person who can save everyone, Ethan. It's like, you're the only person who can save her. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
the only person that can, even though you're not in her life anymore, or, she represents something in your past, you can save her.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that, yeah, the best movies that are on this scale still have those small moments where
Mm-hmm.
like the character is having, an actual emotional pull or revelation.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who is going to be there for Pete Mitchell when going gets tough in the future? It's Iceman.
It's Iceman. Yeah, Val
It's
Kilmer.
It's Iceman who, he makes an appearance, or yeah, he makes an appearance in this movie. I believe it's his final appearance in a film.
I think so, yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away. And I did think that that was another incredibly touching scene.
Yeah.
Incredibly poignant and relevant, and they do kind of try and make Glenn Powell the new Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name? Hangman.
Yeah.
And it kind of works. I don't know. I find Glenn Powell very charming in this movie. And he's very good in that scene where he shows up to kind of save the day for Mav and Rooster.
Yeah.
I remember the theater like going absolutely crazy when Glenn Powell just shows up, and everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
You look good. I am
Woo!
good, Rooster.
Yeah.
I am good.
But yeah, I think that Iceman scene, and yeah, him having somebody who was still there for him and who still like knew the old Maverick too, and knows all the ways that he's changed and also not changed at all, was an important touch to the movie and an important link to the original.
Yeah, and as someone who didn't see the original, I mean, I think that scene was still affecting because I think it's just very convincing and being like, these characters have history and there's a lot that's like being unsaid right now that, yeah, maybe you can unlock if you watch the first movie, but also so much time has passed and they're giving you a lot of context of like, Iceman has bailed out Pete every single time he's gotten in trouble, and he is the head of the fleet and he's very sick now,
Yeah.
Also, I know this movie has one of those like trailer shots that was not in the movie where there's a great scene of Jennifer Connelly again looking incredible like at the funeral
Flawless.
as the planes
Oh
fly
my
over
God,
her
yeah.
and I'm like, why didn't you put that? I'm waiting for that
What?
shot.
Where was it? Where was it? Joseph Kosinski.
Come on, put it
Come
back in the cut.
on. Extended cut. Actually, funny that you mentioned that. It's not an extended cut, but do you know what is coming back to theaters this weekend, Evan, for
Top Gun
its
and
anniversary?
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick is back in theaters this weekend. You
do I
can
detour?
go see it again. Are you going to do it?
I literally just watched it. I mean, let me hold on. Let me look at my schedule. Let's see.
Do it again.
Honestly, maybe because I have quite a few days off next week. Oh, you know what I might go see Saturday night, Gabby?
What's that?
On air invite. They're doing a screening of Beef, season 2, episode 1 and 2 at Vidiot's with Kaylee Spaney in person.
I don't know if I can be in the same room as Kaylee Spaney.
That's also how I felt.
Yeah.
But I got the ticket anyway.
Oh my God. I feel like I'd be starstruck. She's so good in Beef.
Oh man. But yeah, I bet I could squeeze a Top Gun Maverick in there somewhere. It's a short movie.
I'm sure, but you can. Actually, it's not a short movie.
It's not a short movie.
It's not. I think it's 2.5 hours, no?
But it gets shorter and shorter every time I watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say I'd be remiss in caping for the movie so hard. This is also the most I've ever said the phrase caping. Remiss not to say, obviously, this movie does have some criticisms levied against it in various ways, but one of which that's most important here during May, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the US, is that they cut out a lot of Asian characters from this movie.
They sure did.
Namely,
including Manny Jacinto,
who was definitely a bigger name than several of the actors in the supporting cast. At the time, he's in a lot of the background shots, and it's brutal. You know, obviously, Manny Jacinto has gone on to become a kind of Hollywood hunk between his work on The Acolyte as well as Friday the 13th 2 or whatever the sequel of that. What was that called? Not Friday the 13th.
I didn't.
Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
Freakier Friday. Yeah,
Freakier Friday.
He was looking good in Freakier Friday.
So, he's on the come up, but it is tough, and Manny Jacinto, I think, has talked about that experience before, but obviously you don't love to see it. And that's a tough one.
We hate to see it.
Yeah. I every time he pops up, I'm like, please give me more of him. And he's not in it.
Extended cut.
Yeah, let's see all the drama between all the classmates, behind the
give
pilots.
me more. There also is allegedly going to be a Top Gun Maverick 3. How do we feel about that, Evan?
Not good.
You don't?
Not good.
Wow.
I mean, it'll probably be exciting, but will it be a good movie? Because one of the things... I
don't know. That's how people felt about this one.
It's true. One of the things that this movie does that's such a miracle, and they talk about miracles in the movie a lot, is that they show you the training for the final sequence, which takes place in the same area over and over again, and yet they manage to make every iteration of that training sequence exciting. There's always something exciting, and that is kind of wild to just be like, we're going to show you the same thing basically over and over again, and you're just going to love it. You're going to love it, And I don't know what they're going to do for the third one. It's going to be him fighting drones.
How do you know? Maybe he's going to be fighting spaceships? Are they going to bring aliens in? I don't know.
Oh, God.
The UFOs are coming to Top Gun Maverick 3.
What if Top Gun Maverick 3, it's a multiverse movie in which he picks Hangman as his wingman and not Rooster?
Evan, the whole reason why we're getting Avengers Doomsday this year is so that we can get rid of the multiverse, okay? They're done with it. The world is done with it. We're moving on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do not pitch this. But I was going to say also, I mean, judging by the reception to Devil Wears Prada 2, the money,
Mm-hmm.
the fairly good critical reception, a lot of people showing out for it,
Mm-hmm.
and the ending of the movie, which does directly mirror Working Girl.
Oh, sure.
And of course, a very famous ending of Mad Men, a season of Mad Men where they kind of like get their own company, their own
Mm-hmm.
kind of floor in the office building, and they're all looking out the window of the new office building in different little in their offices. Do you think we're being set up for Devil Wears Prada 3?
I don't know, because I mean, just reading
If
about
this is like a Maverick level hit, is it happening?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna cross 500 million. I mean, what best guess is that it hits 800 million. Is that enough for them to greenlight another one?
I think it's enough, but
But also, like, what is the third movie? Is it? I mean, I
I
don't
have no
know.
idea.
It's a multiverse movie where Emily Blunt gets runway, and then they have to deal with the fallout of that.
No, I mean, I think maybe it would be Andy writing this book about Miranda's life,
Mm,
and then Miranda retiring and passing the torch to Stanley Tucci. I don't know.
I guess, but is it just like wish fulfillment? The
I don't.
movie?
Yeah, I don't know if that's interesting enough
Yeah.
to be a movie, but I guess that's kind of what this movie implies.
I mean,
Would
I
be the
will say I should have brought this up in the Devil Wears Prada section. This is classic. This is a classic point of the Back to the Future podcast.
it sure is.
But when I got out of the movie, I think my letterbox review was something like, um, media workers in toxic environments wish fulfillment the movie, because like, you know, you were talking about like, I don't know if people I've worked for a year ago remember me.
Yeah.
I You know, I have tried to be very impressionable and very, you know, personable when entering new work environments. And I always try to keep good ties, no matter what happens, right? I've had a lot of different career paths in my life and a lot of different industries and things like that. So it's always nice to look back and think about the people that I've worked with and things like that. And sometimes connections will happen out of nowhere, but it is one of those things where like I left a startup once, and I was as I was leaving, I was shaking my boss's hand, and he goes, "Hey, don't worry about it. You're going to be successful." And I was like, "Whoa."
Hmm.
Interesting. And I'm like, Wouldn't it be cool if I worked with him again?" And he was like, "Wow, look at you.
You're
You're
so
doing all this
successful,
stuff.
bud.
You're so successful now." And that's what Miranda does to
Yeah,
Andy,
he's
you
gonna
know?
be like, I called it. I called it on you, Evan.
I called it. You would have your own self-produced podcast.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I think that was an interesting part of the movie for me. And so when thinking about a third movie, and same thing with thinking about a third Top Gun Maverick, it's like I feel like both movies dealt with the time spent, you know, time away, which I'm glad you really articulated that, as well as the legacy that these characters have in and what they think they will pass on to the next generation and what they're inheriting. Um it's just tough to know what the third one's going to be. It'll be hard to know if it has as big of an emotional impact, you know.
Well, we're gonna find out probably in 2029, Top Gun 3. Or
Top Gun 3.
2028. I don't know. Might be even sooner.
Oh God,
We're
get me
seated. We're
out of the
already there.
plane.
We're
I'm in the
already
cockpit
there.
already.
I'm already in the plane. That's
Yeah,
why I made this my background on YouTube.
yeah. You've been
I'm in
sitting
the
there.
plane. I'm still here. The
Fernando
pilots are telling
Torres,
me
you're
to
still here.
leave. I am. Oh man.
That's one for the real heads. Well,
Mm.
we kind of mentioned some alt pairings. I think the only one we ever like seriously considered was just doing a Devil Wears Prada one. But I feel
Mhm.
like we ended up talking a lot about Devil Wears Prada one. It helped that you obviously
We
saw it
did.
pretty recently. I saw it recently enough, you know,
On a plane.
on a
Tisk
plane.
tisk.
I was Maverick, you know.
Oh boy. That's all for us today.
If you're listening to us on audio, leave a review or comment. Don't forget to check out the video versions of these on YouTube at Back to the Future Pod. You can follow the podcast on Letterboxd at Back to the Pod and on Instagram at Back to the Future Pod. Also, if you're listening this far, I realized I forgot to reveal the thing that I bought. You know, I think a lot of people have already seen it on Instagram, but the big thing from last episode that I bought that Gabby could not guess was a Pioneer DVJ 100, which is effectively a DJ turntable that DJs DVDs.
And Evan, I couldn't have guessed that because I did not know that existed until you sent me a video of you remixing 500 Days of Summer.
Honestly, some people were really showing their face when they were like, "Oh, you bought 500 Days of Summer?" I'm like, watch the whole video.
You gotta watch till the end. Those people aren't watching till the end.
Watch till the end. Come on. I thought it was a nice callback to the pod. You know, we talked about 500 Days of Summer at one point.
We sure did. I forget when, but someday.
Can I tell you something really goofy in relation to this?
Of course.
I spent $56 on DVDs this weekend for this machine.
Was one of them Top Gun Maverick?
I don't know if I don't think you can buy Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure you can, but no, one of them was not Top Gun Maverick.
You know, why would you? But
I bought a bunch of Tom and Jerry's.
Oh my god. Okay.
I bought Say Anything.
Good.
I bought a Dolomite movie, The Human Tornado.
Ooh. Okay, throwback.
I bought James Cameron's The Abyss.
Does he still claim The Abyss?
I don't know.
He does.
But I thought it would be that one was more of a collector item to have too, because I know there's been some things back and forth about the newer editions.
Yeah.
And I bought I bought season 1 of Succession on DVD.
Okay, that's the big one.
That one will be pretty funny. That one might be pretty funny.
Actually, that's DJ. Huge news. You gotta get on the board tonight. Get on that board.
Evan,
you gotta
get on the board.
you gotta make a Hinge video tonight.
Of me DJing the first episode of Succession, just rolling it back between the theme song and then cutting to some unhinged quote from Brian Cox and then going back to the theme song.
Yes, that's how you're gonna find the future Mrs. Yee, and she'll be a woman of taste.
Hey, reach out, okay?
Reach out. Everyone reach out.
No, don't reach out. We can't.
No, don't.
We can't have unsolicited fan things like that.
Oh my god.
Well, let us know what DVD I should buy for the next.
Yeah. For the next episode. If you listen to the this far, you're a real one. You're a shareholder.
Yeah. Oh, true share. Wow. True shareholder. Yeah. You've got socks in the DVJ now, you know?
Oh my god. We will return with another pod. What are we covering next, Evan?
Is that sheep I hear? Because it's the sheep detective. I
don't know if we are. I don't know.
We'll see. We gotta watch it first. We gotta watch it. Yeah. But until next time, see ya.
Bye.